In nature, many plants grow naturally. Their seeds disperse naturally in the wild. Fruits growing on trees burst open on drying. The seeds in them are carried away by the wind and water or by animals and scattered here and there. In favorable conditions, these seeds take root and grow into trees. Seeds of the trees like the banyan and peepal are dispersed through the droppings of birds. The dead remains of animals, droppings of animals and birds, dry leaves, etc., all get buried in the soil and are converted into manure. Seeds take root easily and plants flourish in such fertile soil. Rainwater helps their growth. Thus, we can say that plants are nurtured by nature itself. In earlier classes, we studied that man learned to cultivate crops by observing nature. Long, long ago, there were thick forests on the earth. Man cleared these forests to make place for his own use. As he learnt that plants provide food, he began to grow them. He learnt to grow a variety of crops to meet his food-related needs. He also studied plants and developed the science of agriculture in order to maximize the produce of the land. Now, coming to the agriculture for food crops. Today, agricultural produce includes staple cereal foods like rice, wheat, jowar, bajra, maize, ragi, etc., and pulses like chana, Bengal gram, moong, green gram, urad, black gram, tur or arhar, masoor, lentils, matki, moth beans, etc. Oilseeds like sesame, til, groundnuts, sunflower, safflower, kardai, linseed, jawars, and soya bean are grown. Vegetables like cluster beans, that is, gawar, tomato, brinjals, snake gourd, that is, parval, bitter gourd, that is, karela, chakwat, fenugreek, that is, methi, country sorrel, that is, chuka, colocasia, that is, alu, are also grown. Fruits like mangoes, guavas, jackfruits, chikus, oranges, pomegranates, bananas, etc. are grown. Besides food crops, what do farmers grow? Let us discuss on this. As the demand for flowers has grown, floriculture has gained importance. Flowers grown include tuberoses, roses, marigolds, chrysanthemums, as well as some foreign varieties of flowers. Apart from these, plants like serpentina, gulwel, asparagus, etc. are grown by farmers for their medicinal uses. Jute, hemp, cotton are grown for their fiber to make yarn. Plants like ranbhendi, parrot tree, jatropa are now being grown as alternative sources of fuel. This is called energy farming. Fuel is also obtained from wood and the bagasse of sugarcane. When these plants are grown commercially, they are first grown in nurseries and the seedlings are then transplanted at their proper places. Greenhouses are used in nurseries and floriculture. Nowadays, there is an awareness about tree plantation in view of the large-scale cutting of trees. Trees like teak, eucalyptus and subhabul are being consciously planted. Next, we shall learn about various agricultural practices. Anything that is done to obtain a good harvest, right from preparing the soil, using good seeds and fertilizers, to protecting the crop and storing it properly, can be termed as farm work or agricultural practices. As you must be aware, in our country, agriculture is carried on by traditional methods on a small scale and by modern methods on the commercial scale. The following are the important steps in farm work or agricultural practices. Tilling the land. This is an important stage in the process of farming. These activities are undertaken at 3 stages: pre-sowing, sowing, and post-sowing stages. Coming to the pre-sowing stage. At this stage, the land is ploughed and harrowed. The hard soil is dug up to a certain depth, thus the soil gets loosened. This helps the crop in many ways. When the land is ploughed deep, the soil is turned up. This makes the soil friable and suitable for growing crops. Weeding becomes easier. The stubble and roots of previous crops become loose and are picked out. After that, the soil is evened out and the land is ready for sowing. Loosening the soil exposes the germs and insects in it to the sun and thus kills them. Ploughing also helps to aerate the soil, that is, it helps air to enter deeper into the soil. This improves the respiration of the plants and their roots grow stronger and deeper. Loose soil prevents water from flowing away from the surface and helps it seep into the soil. In other words, it improves the capacity of the soil to hold water. Now, let us move on to the second stage, that is, the sowing stage. It includes arranging the soil and sowing the seeds or planting the seedlings. Let us have a look. 1. Arranging the soil. Soil is arranged by using a plough or harrow in a way suitable for the crop to be grown. Soil may be arranged by cutting furrows, building ridges, or making beds. 2. Sowing. After arranging the soil, the crop is planted. Have you ever watched seeds being sown or seedlings being transplanted? It is done in various ways. The seeds may be scattered on the field or poked into the soil one by one, or prepared seedlings may be transplanted just like in case of rice. Seedlings are grown in a seedbed made by piling soft soil on the ground. Sugarcane is planted in furrows made in the soil. Ladyfingers are grown on ridges while leafy vegetables are grown in beds. Seeds of some varieties of cotton, pumpkin, bitter gourd and watermelon are sown by poking them into the soil one by one. Now we shall learn the third stage. It is the post-sowing stage. Tilling activities of this stage begins once the crop has taken root. These include thinning of the crop, weeding, watering, and adding fertilizers, spraying pesticides, etc. It is important to carry out these activities at the right time. Let us study each in detail. Thinning the crop. It helps to prevent overcrowding. The number of plants is reduced by pulling some out. The plants left standing get adequate water and fertilizers and they grow vigorously. Roots that are exposed during the thinning are again covered with soil. The next step is weeding, that is, pulling out unwanted weeds. This loosens the soil around the roots and aerates it. Watering and adding fertilizers. You are already aware that proper supply of water and fertilizers in proper quantity and at definite intervals of time is essential for the proper growth of plants. The traditional method of channeling water to the plants is now replaced by modern methods like drip and sprinkle irrigation, which helps to save water. It is useful to take advice of experts regarding the use of fertilizers, as overuse of water or fertilizers is harmful for plants. Spraying pesticides. Protecting the crops is as important as watering or providing fertilizers. If the crops fall prey to insects or to disease, much grain is destroyed. Germicides, fungicides, insecticides are sprayed to protect the crops. If chemicals are sprayed beforehand to prevent the crop from attack by germs or fungi, it is a preventive measure. And if it is done after the crops are affected by germs or fungi, then it is a curative measure. Overuse of such chemicals has harmful effects on the land, which becomes infertile over a period of time. Now coming to harvesting, threshing and storing. After the crop is ripe, it is harvested at the right time such that the maximum possible produce can be gathered. Threshing. The harvested cobs of jowar, bajra or maize or ears of rice or wheat are brought to the threshing floor. The crop is threshed with the help of bullocks or a threshing machine. This grain is then winnowed. By winnowing, the husks, chaff and other rubbish are separated and the grain becomes clean. Storing. It is necessary to keep the grain in a good edible condition for a long period of time. So, it is dried completely and stored safely in large bins made of metal sheets or cement concrete. This protects the grains from field rats or mice. They also protect the grains from insects, fungi and microorganisms. Neem leaves or even chemicals are used to protect grain from weevils, beetles and ants. Remember, rice is not husked before storing. So that's all about various agricultural practices. Now we shall study about various agricultural implements and tools without which good produce is impossible. Several implements and tools are used in agriculture. Animals like bullocks, oxen, horses or camels may be harnessed to work these implements. For example, a plough is used for ploughing the field. A wooden board is used to even out the ploughed field. Seed drills like the Tifan, Pabhar and Mogda are used for sowing. A spray pump is used for spraying pesticides. A spade is used to pull and spread soil. A pickaxe is used to dig the ground. A scythe is used for harvesting the crop. Let us see how to take proper care of these implements. Proper care should be taken as they are constantly needed to do farm work. They come in contact with mud and water all the time. They should be cleaned before putting away after use. They should be oiled regularly. They should not be stored in damp spaces where the wood can be attacked by termites and iron can rust. Rusting and termites shorten the life of the tools. Also, their blades need to be sharpened. Students, I'm sure you all might have heard about tissue culture. Let us learn about it in detail. Growing living cells or groups of cells outside the plant or animal is called tissue culture. Tissue culture means reproduction in a micro form. Examples of plants grown by tissue culture are banana and some medicinal plants. The numbers of several plants and animals are falling day by day while some are becoming extinct. So, tissue culture can be useful for preserving such plants or increasing their numbers. By this method, a new organism is produced by growing the cells of a healthy organism in a growth medium under supervision. Thus, the number of plants which give fruits or flowers of good quality can be increased. When the means of pollination are not available, this method helps to produce a plant like the original one.